excited to get started. And I just wanted to very briefly, for the newcomers who are not really familiar who we are, Cohere Labs, to just briefly introduce ourselves and adding to what Joel mentioned about this big part of our mission is doing good research in open science community. So really building a new ecosystem of how research is done right now in AI. And we are a very small team. We have the luxury of a really nice community of researchers who are excited to collaborate. And with our small team, we have published for the past 3 years over 100 papers at different conferences and released two family of models, in particular AYA models, which are the multilingual. One of the first, actually, when we started 3 years ago, the multilingual models. And I'm very excited to go through some of the lessons learned from these collaborations in the community as part of the researches that we did in the past 3 years, today and tomorrow. And we also really committed to helping emerging researchers to get involved in research who are interested to do that. As part of that, we have this annual research scholars program that we are running every year. And these are some of our biggest research bets that we work with people who are more on the junior side, who might not have the opportunity to right away to get involved in more bigger institutions. And for instance, if they want to continue doing their PhDs, but they have a lot of potential. And we are very proud to have been working with people from around the world to provide this opportunity to really create the next generation of researchers who end up joining Cohere or going forward to do their PhDs after finishing the program. And the community, the Open Science Initiative that we have, is a big part of our the identity of our lab. A lot of you are from this community and have been for many years. And it's a very active community. There are multiple subgroups and events going on at the same time. If you're interested in a particular niche and area of research or topic, you can find like-minded people in this community. Go to the reading groups, form collaborations there. And as part of this community and working closely with people there, we have also been able to publish a lot of impactful research in the last couple of years. But let me step back and look at why we really want to highlight collaboration and working together as the main theme of this conference. There are many complex systems in the world that almost all of them are not really built individually, but really as part of a network. And from biology to economics to AI and research. And why it's really important is that because collaboration will expand the space of ideas. And the more essentially what you end up thinking about, the benchmarks that you end up working with, the methods that you think about are going to be limited to what you have experienced so far. But the more you collaborate with people, you are actually moving out of this isolation of the familiar space and expanding what else is out there and what you can learn in terms of what you really want to then explore as interesting research questions. And something that I really believe is that when we look at the last decade in particular, there have been a lot of breakthroughs through scaling of compute, data, models, parameter sizes, but there's also the social aspect of scaling, and that is scaling participation and getting more people involved in creation of this technology. And when we talk about participation, one of the first things that also comes to mind when scaling participation is creation of data sets. But that's not just let's not limit participation to just that. Really, how we think about scaling participation is who really ends up framing research questions, who looks at the model behavior and interpret how it's doing, and really what success looks like according to different people who are involved in research. So with that in mind, we intentionally are holding this conference as a virtual and global conference. So this is a map of all of the registered people for the conference, truly from around the world. And uh, we our hope is that we can connect people by the end of this conference, uh, people who share the same interest in research, have the same curiosity about what is interesting, what is important to work on right now, without really the limitations of geography and who you are, who you know, who you are familiar with, and really expanding your horizon on the type of problems that you can work on. And really with this cross-region and cross-disciplinary collaboration, the hope and the goal in the end is to increase the surface area of the search space that you will be working on. And just to get a little bit more uh, less abstract and more practical, what does really collaboration look like? And it can be on a small scale, just working a couple of people together um, on ideation, experiments, and iterative thinking. It can also be on a much larger scale, a lot of times involved with data collection, or making impact in terms of changes in policy that really needs like more larger scale point of view. But really how it feels like it's a little bit more different and nuanced. Like a lot of times collaboration is really two people looking at one paper together and talking about what it looks like. Maybe like a few people learning a particular method and then re-implementing the outcome of a paper, or looking at a published evaluation and discuss maybe the anomalies there. So it can be really very small individual talks and discussions that can compound to a more tangible and valuable outcome. And a lot of times collaboration, especially global collaboration, will look like this. A lot of async alignment and talks, and whether it's like weekly Zoom calls or sharing a document that everyone can leave their feedback and their opinion, and just building a research idea together. And just constant communication between everyone on the team. We started the AYA initiative 3 years ago, and we learned through that process. The first initiative, it took 1 year, that there's also this aspect of collaboration that you have to have fun in the end with people that you want to work with. So as part of a lot of the work of AYA was the curation of this data set and the models that cover 101 languages in the end. But there was also a lot of parts that was about just sharing the music that everyone was enjoying around the world, sharing pictures, doing a recipe exchange. And I'm sharing this here because I think there's this part of the social and connection part of collaboration that might be overlooked sometimes. And we do need this some bond in the end so that to have a successful collaboration. And don't really underestimate the power of connecting to people first before jumping on important research questions that you want to work on together. And as part of this collaboration, we actually ended up creating the AYA initiative, which has become much bigger than we even expected from beginning. And I'm very excited to go through some of the details of this journey in this conference as well. And other than AYA, which was a really large group of people coming together, in the next 3 days, we are also showcasing the large spectrum of research that is possible through collaboration. So AYA is a really big example, but there are also uh, uh, more smaller groups of people working together on the global MMLU and the Include project, for instance, or even smaller group of people working on AfriAya or Maya and NeoBubble papers. So they're all essentially different ways of working together at different scale. And a lot of times we see the paper, which is the end result, but we don't hear the story behind it, how this group of people got together, worked through all of the challenges and created that research outcome. And our hope for this conference is that we learn that. And like I said, really scaling participation, I truly think that this will be the next breakthrough. So the more people are involved in what research questions are important, how to interpret the results, and where to explore to find interesting research questions next, the more we will get closer to really capturing this human intelligence that with this technology we are hoping to capture. And with that, I'm going to wrap up and just share that this conference is, in the end, an open invitation for everyone to talk to each other, get inspired, find people who share your same interest as you. Start small. It doesn't have to be the largest end goal in the beginning. And yeah, let's work together. Thanks.